McGoldrick sat out this morning.
Yeah, David McGoldrick he's had a nickel behind his knee, which has come on a little bit, and he has had a scan. We're just waiting for the results of that there, but it is niggly, and he is a bit concerned about it.
Is he in doubt for Sunday?
I would say he's in doubt, yes.
Everyone else okay?
So far, yeah, I think everybody else is not too bad at the moment. Obviously, a few training sessions to negotiate, you know.
How do you assess the goalkeeping contest between Darren Randolph and...
Do you know, I think that's really... I'm not going to be part of your debate, really, at the end of it all. I have some choices to make during the course of the build-up to the game. And that's something that is... I think it's good for the... Republic of Ireland itself, because that's what we always wanted. We just didn't want people stepping into the side and think that they own it for the next couple of years. If you play well enough in the games, then well done to you. So, but I'm not part of the speculation.
But would you accept it's your toughest decision to make probably this week?
No, I'm not part of the speculation. I've been in this game a fairly lengthy time. I've made a couple of big calls. I've made a couple of big calls here during the course of my time as manager of the Republic of Ireland, and I think that's part of my job.
Next question. The game against Uruguay has boosted the confidence of the squad and of the supporters, but it's also put us in kind of a position that we don't really enjoy, which is we're favourites against Austria on Sunday.
No, it doesn't. That really doesn't worry me, because we are at home. It is up to us. We have to, as I mentioned at the press conference after the game, we have to be in the front foot. We have to take the crowd with us. We have to give them something to cheer, and really it is up to us. So whether we're favourites or not, it seems strange that we could be favourites against Austria when a couple of years, less than 2 years ago, since they won I think almost all of their qualifying games to get into the Euros. And we're being touted as one of the best sides in Europe. They still have top quality players playing. They have players playing in Champions League football, and so it'll be a tough a game for us naturally. But as you said, a bit of confidence that we got from the game against Uruguay shouldn't be a hindrance.
But at times in the past, we haven't pressed home a perceived advantage that we've had against sides. We've tended to sit back at times and frustrate the supporters, and often it's only when chasing the game that Irish power and Irish strength comes to the fore.
Well, I don't know about that. I've been in charge of the side for a couple of years now, and you know, we've attempted, not always successfully, but we've attempted to try and get at the opposition.
And what do you make of reports that all is not 100% in the Austrian camp?
I've got to tell you this, I really do take that with a pinch of salt, because it's so many times down throughout the years that situations like that there seem to develop, and that it's exactly the opposite when you get onto the field of play. So really don't take that. I think that when they set out, despite the fact that they didn't cover themselves in glory in the Euros itself, their qualification was really, really fantastic. So I thought that they would have a point to prove starting off in the World Cup qualification games. They've probably dropped a couple of points that they maybe didn't expect, maybe all three against us, which was not on the agenda. They were strong favourites that night, and that was only a few months ago. So they might be disappointed with their haul of points at the moment. They have to probably try and win the game themselves to get into it, and really it is up to us to try and keep that points differential between us. And so I think all to play for. I still think that they're a top quality nation.
Martin, given the fixtures this week, this could really be a decisive week in the campaign.
Well, I don't think it'll decide things. I think it is a big week, but then I think that every single game that we play, only because you can afford yourself 10 matches, I think every game is as important. And I keep going back to the time that we started out in the Euros. You had McGeady's goals against Georgia proved every bit as important as the goal that Shane Long scored against Germany. So that's the way it is. It's you have to try and accumulate points along the way. At the minute, we're doing fine, but this is the second half is the real business end of things, and this is and we have to really just be on our mettle, be very, very strong, and whatever side that we have. We weren't at full strength against Wales. We managed to get something out of the game, and Sunday will be exactly the same. Whatever we've got, we just give it everything we've got, everything, and genuinely have no regrets. You've heard that before, but that's something that has to be within our makeup.
Can I just ask, as Sunderland manager, you sent your team out twice against Czech Teoti's Newcastle. Can I ask you for your reaction to
Oh, that's really sad, I must admit. Really, really sad now. Only a young man in the prime of his life, and I know, really combative player, really very strong, and he certainly in those games he used to cause us plenty of problems. But very, very sad indeed.
Last question.
Can I ask you, Martin? Sorry, just we saw the other day you trying a few different things in midfield, and Jeff Hendrick was one of the players involved in that. You've played him in a few different positions, on the right and the 10, in the holding position. In a kind of ideal world, if you were really well served in every other position, what do you think Jeff Hendrick's best role in the team is?
Well, that's a half decent point. I asked the players themselves whatever positions that they like to play in. Jeff, Robbie Brady, and their stock answer is always, as long as I'm in the team, I don't mind where I play. Of course, players have favourite positions, but I think that Jeff I think he's adept. I think he's strong enough to be able to play in that role that he started off in the other night. I think that he found himself in the game against Austria. I think it was almost covering a sort of right-hand side position there, and I thought he did that very, very well indeed, particularly defensively for us. So, and he has to, I think now at club level, he wants to really impose himself now, not only in the club he's playing for, but in the Premier League itself. And Robbie's exactly the same. But it's nice to have them because they are, I think, that reasonably adaptable.
Okay. Martin, just in relation to the Austria approach to this game, they have decided not to play any friendly games coming into the game. They haven't actually played a game now since March. On the back of your performance and result on Sunday, do you think this gives you a mental advantage already going into this game?
Well, everyone to their own. It was important for us to play some games because the championship season had finished so very early, and so we had done a little bit of training down in Cork, and then we played the game out in the USA against Mexico. So you could have turned after the Mexican game. You might have turned around and said, well, the players would have lost a little bit of confidence from being well beaten in a match. But I never looked at it like that. I thought that we got tired in the game pretty quickly, which is nearly understandable. And so this game now, with some of the Premier League players playing for us against Uruguay, was a confidence booster. But I think you can. The preparation that I wanted, I'm very, very happy with, and I think it was important for us. But that might be totally different to what the Austrians feel. They might think that, just coming in, playing the game, getting ready for it, is the type of preparation. Everyone to their own.
Okay, thank you.